Lucia Clay Bricks Limited is your superior producer of different kinds of tile bricks. Building blocks. We produce metric standard, Bruno tables coming 50mm to 90mm. Inferior brick coming in right. Smooth face and Diptex. Also in our range is the tower standard, the tower Brunos and all kinds of blocks coming in different sizes and unique. And our new range of query tile cables from 16mm to 18mm. At Lucia Clay Bricks, we make all types of bricks according to the customer specification or sample. And we offer 10 to 35% discount on our various product range. Our bricks are packed for easy transportation to the client. Visit our Mukatasha depot today on plot number 7306 Mukatasha Road or call us on 289-178, 289-150 or fax 286-136.
Welcome to Art in Perspective. Art in Perspective provides a platform for the arts fraternity and other stakeholders to reflect on the creative industry in Zambia.
This weekly 45-minute program is brought to you by Yenzi Arts Promotions and Productions, Zambia's upcoming theatre.
Good morning and welcome to Arts in Perspective radio program on Radio Phoenix. My name is Rafael Zimba. Today on the program we look at youth participation in the creative industry. My guest on the program is Henry Josakala. A number of successful art practitioners today develop their talents from their school days. Unfortunately, the current prevailing situation does not encourage the youth to take up art-related works as careers, but merely as hobbies. As a result, very few parents have encouraged the participation of youth in art-related programs at school, opting for the ones inclined toward collar jobs. The youth should be encouraged to be involved in these activities that enhances their talents. This only can be achieved if the right policies are put in place by government and other stakeholders in the creative industry. Today on the program, we look at youth participation in the creative industry. My guest is Henry Josakala. Henry Josakala, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Thanks. Good morning.
All right. Before getting to the program, I know you as Henry Josakala, but some have just listened to the program for the first time. Who's Henry Josakala?
Henry Josakala is, I like to call myself as a very creative person. I currently work for Movie TV as a producer, scriptwriter, and journalist. I've been involved in the arts for a long time, I think from the age of 12 when I did my first production on a stage, and I got encouraged by the response that I got. So from then on, I've been involved in the arts from primary school through to secondary and college. I remember the days of Libala High School, Libala Boys Secondary School. That's where I cemented myself in the drama industry. At one time, I was even chairman of the drama club there. But it was from there that I got encouraged and developed my skills in drama, especially in acting and script writing, because we had to write our own plays and direct our own plays, and we had just do it ourselves, using our own creativity. So yeah, I'm a person who likes to create things. I write a lot, just creating stories. Or maybe you can call me an entertainer.
Right. I'm looking at the time you've been involved in the arts since you were 12. Let's look at, today we're looking at youth participation in the creative industry. How much is there from the youth in terms of participation in the creative industry? How much participation is there from the youth?
Okay, I think we can look at it maybe from two angles. Firstly, you can compare to the present situation and maybe the way it was in my time when I was in primary school. I think then there was a serious associations that dealt with art, and I think there was also serious funding maybe from the government, and those days we had the mines. So I remember those days in my primary days, I could watch plays almost maybe 4 times in a term at school, produced by our drama club at the primary school level. But then moving on, I think that consistency also went down, with the closing of the mines also. So I think the participation, to answer your question, the participation of the youth in the creative arts industry is not as much as it was way back, due to various factors that we might highlight as we go on with the discussion.
I'll give it to the chance to highlight these factors that has led to the downfall of participation of youth in the creative industry.
Well, first and foremost, arts is not taken seriously in Zambia. By that I mean that art is the creative arts are considered as a hobby mostly, and if somebody who is involved in the arts, mostly they call them chinyao, or a funny guy. It's not taken seriously the way you take other subjects at school, like the sciences, the RIEs, the commercial subjects, and all those things. So that is also reducing, because then the youths would look at art as something that will not sustain them in life. So why should I do this if it won't help me in future? So that has also contributed to the reduction of the participation of the youth in the arts. I'll give an example of I think some time back the late president declared that physical education should be compulsory in schools. Okay, but where is art in such a situation? The arts we don't even have them as a subject in our classrooms, in our curriculum. It's not there in the curriculum. So that reduces the importance and the value of the arts for so many of the young people. So they won't take it seriously. So I think what we need is to maybe even include it in our curriculum, so that it becomes an optional subject, so that a person who's involved in the creative arts in secondary school, when they graduate from grade 12, they'll have something to fall back on, or somewhere where they can go to continue with what they love to do, because I'm sure you know that currently maybe there's only one or two, maybe that's the Open University that offers some kind of an arts or of a creative arts course, but most of these higher institutions, they don't offer that as a course. So that also reduces the importance or the value of the creative arts. And the other thing is that we are also lacking in terms of funding of the arts, and also lacking in infrastructure.
Yes.
When somebody, a pupil from secondary school, you graduate from there, where do you go to now to continue your creativity? The theater houses are not operating, most of them. Some of them that are operating, they concentrate mostly in other businesses, maybe the cocktail bars and things like that. But the mainstay of the institution, which is theater, is put aside. So young people don't have a place where they can go to express their creativity. We have the institutions or associations like NATAS or the National Arts Council, but I think they are trying to do something to preserve the creative arts in schools and to encourage young people. But I think more needs to be done, because, for example, in schools, pupils only get involved in the creative arts to compete when it's festival time, which is like once in a year. Okay.
And I'm looking. Okay. Yeah. Yes. You want it.
But you need to have that consistency of because art happens every day. We say art is life.
Yes. And I'm looking at the experience that you have in this industry. Do you think that the youth themselves really understand the importance of arts before they fully involve themselves in the creative industry?
Well, I think maybe there is a certain section of the youths who really understand the value of the arts, but I would say that we need to have a change of mindset for the youths, because they also need to understand that this is not something to play with. Arts in other countries is a source of employment. It adds to the GDP of nations. It's something that who you can depend on for your livelihood. But I think most of the young people do not see that value in the arts.
Indeed. We have seen a lot of youths restricting themselves to one form of art, and let me be honest, music. What could have been the reason why a lot of youths want to incline themselves to this one form of art, which is music?
Well, like I said before, first of all, when you're doing art in school, the value is not so much. You don't see the value of the art. But again, when you graduate into society, you have to make a living. And I think music is one way, I should say, that you can make a quick buck, maybe to use that expression. It is easy for young people to go to a studio and produce a song, put it on CD, come to a radio station, play it, and become a star in a short time. And you get called to do concerts here and there. So that's why these young people are drawn to that form of art. These other forms of art, like acting or painting, there's a lot more involved for you to make it. When you paint, you do a painting, there's a lot involved for you to sell even one painting. When you create a film, there's a lot involved. There's money involved. You need a lot of resources to produce a film. You need a lot of resources to market your film. So that's why it's difficult for a young person to follow that route. But with music, it's much easier for them even to make some money out of it. So that's why I think young people follow that kind of route.
Today on the program, we're looking at youth participation in the creative industry. My guest is Henry Joe Sakala. And of course, for your contributions on the program, you can send your contribution to 0975 473704. That's 0975 473704. And we'll let you open up the phone lines on 226-841 or 226-292. Let's look at the social impact of youth participation in the creative industry. What are some of the social impacts of youth participating in the creative industry?
Well, there are quite a number of them. I think, like I mentioned, art is life. Art happens every day, and without art, I think life would be boring. I'd like to say, I like saying that God is the greatest artist ever, because he created this beautiful world. But the impact of the art is that we can see that without the artists, even these companies wouldn't be able to market their products. They use the artists, the musicians, the stars. They use them to disseminate information on HIV awareness, to disseminate information on the forthcoming elections. It's the artist that is used because of that value that they possess. So I think the impact is quite immense that the artists have on society. Also, artists can be used to preserve our customs and our culture through the productions that they do, through the films that we produce, through the music. It's a way of preserving our way of life also. So that's impacting so much on our lives.
Okay. When we come back from this message from our sponsors, we'll open up the phone lines on 226-841 or 226-292 for your participation on the program. This is Arts in Perspective, and we're looking at youth participation in the creative industry. So far, so good.
Yenzi Art has available on DVD exciting drama productions from the series Direct from the Stage.
Mentions of say. Nightmare.
Married man, and I'm not prepared to be a daughter. Do not digest the issue at hand here.
Unfaithful.
What business is that?
For your participation in the program, it's 226-841 or 226-292. You can forward your contributions to 0975 473704. We're looking at youth participation in the creative industry. My guest on the program is Henry Joe Sakala. Let's look at if it is possible, what can be done to encourage youth participation in other forms of arts and the creative industry. I don't know if there's anything that can be done. You've quite explained why we've seen this inclination to music. It's quite simple. They can easily do one or two things and have their music on the market. But is there anything that can be done just to encourage participation in these other forms of art?
Yes, I think the most important thing is that our society, we as Zambians and all the people involved, I think first of all we need to value, to put the real value on the arts. And I think when we do that, then we'll begin to take steps in the right direction. Having said that, I'll mention that the most important thing for any industry is to put infrastructure in place. Infrastructure that will allow those people involved in that industry to improve their skills. For example, journalists, there are so many colleges that offer journalism in Zambia and all over. But when it comes to the arts, I would say there's none.
There's none.
Basically. So that also is discouraging young people. Then the value is not there.
Indeed.
So what we need to do is to introduce creative arts in tertiary institutions, universities and colleges. And also the other thing that we need to do is to build infrastructure, more infrastructure where young people can go to and express their creativity. What we have is not enough. These little theaters that we have, I think that's not enough. And also these same little theaters, I think they need a lot of restructuring so that they can encourage more production. And also, I think this is an appeal to the government also to put in certain incentives that would encourage the creation of more production houses that can produce movies. Certain incentives, maybe, for example, equipment, cameras and things like that, come in duty free and things like that. That would encourage the booming of the industry. Also, the promotion of the arts. There's little that is being done to promote the creative arts as a whole. When you read a newspaper, mostly you read about music.
What about
the other forms? There's the writers, the actors, the dancers, So there's just need for us to look at the creative arts as a whole and take certain steps to make sure that we make it a booming industry. And also, one thing that is also lacking, and I think artists have been calling for this for a long time now, is the creation of the Ministry of Arts and Culture. Right now we have the Ministry of Youth and Sport, but when you look at that ministry, you think sports. So it's youths involved in sports mostly. And where is art? Art is with the Ministry of Community Development and Social Services. So when you look at that, what do you think? You are thinking community service, not really creative arts.
Indeed.
So we need a ministry that will specifically look at the creative arts. I think that will help us a lot in developing the arts industry, because the ministry now will be the umbrella that will look at this industry, and maybe they can give us some incentives, maybe some funding. For example, in South Africa we have the Video and Film Foundation, which gives funds, grants to filmmakers and other creative people, and this is a grant. You go, you get the grant, you use it.
Indeed. They say youths are the future leaders. What can you youths do through the artistic talents to better the nation?
Yeah, once again I'll say that first of all we need to look at art seriously, not something that is to play with. Art is serious business. I think that's one thing that we as youths should first look at. And also we need to realize that this is an industry that would contribute immensely to the development of this nation. In other countries...
And kind of what let's pick up our very first on the program. We lost you. 22641 or 2269292. Yes.
I was saying in other countries, some of the countries are well known for art. They are on the world map because of the creative arts. We talk of Brazil or Mexico. They produce the best soap operas and things like that. So I think this is the creative arts can even make Zambia be attractive, maybe even for tourists to come and see.
Indeed.
Whatever will be portrayed in our dramas. Just like the Nigerians, they are all over with their productions, and they are making money out of that industry, which we can also do here if we are assisted and if certain structures are put in place.
Indeed. 226-841 or 226-292, or you can forward your contributions to 0975-473704. Let's look at some of the challenges. I know you've been in the industry for quite some time. What are some of the challenges you think youths tend to face in the creative industry?
Well, there are quite a number of challenges that youths face. I think some of them I've already outlined some of them. Firstly, it's quite difficult for a young person like myself if I want to create or to put up a company that will be producing movies because or music or something like that, because where do I get the funds? Which institution has been put in place to assist young people? It might be there, but we are not aware of it. Okay, so those are some of the challenges that we are facing, and the lack of information on certain things that we need to know to go about our business. Also, it is quite difficult for young people, especially the creative ones, to say that I'll just do art. Okay, art is taken as a hobby, so to say.
Yes.
I've had certain friends of mine.
Hold on, Henry. Good morning. Your name, sir, and where you're calling us from? Yes, Jared, go ahead with your contribution.
I just wanted to contribute something towards the same program about the art going down, especially in schools. I remember in the olden days, like in the unique time, there were festivals. As we went in the Chiluba regime, things like started changing. Those festivals, they stopped funding those festivals. There was a time I was at Monze. We had to, like a dramatist, the drama group, so to say, we just had to look for money ourselves and went to Charles Vanga just to go and act. There was that love of acting, but the school, like they withdraw the saying, we don't have any money about this. I think it's all to do with, I don't know which ministry, so to say, can be funding, especially the drama artists, so to say. Because as my brother is saying, artists has been taken like it's just something like people, they look like they don't think, or so to say, those who are not intelligent are the ones who are going through that. So even at school, some of us were being called the Chinyao, Jere, what, things like that. But when we go on stage, we could do something. Some of them, they were even crying down there, you see. So I think there's something to do with the national community or whatever. I think that we need help, so to say. We need help. If the National Arts Council can come in and try to help the schools where they can source money for the drama groups, then I think something can come out from there.
Thank you very much, Jared. All right. He did raise a number of issues here, Henry. I don't know if you would like to respond to any of the things that he raised.
Well, maybe just an addition. He mentioned that some schools don't even fund the arts, which is a very sad situation. I would just like to say something that in schools usually I see sports being well attended to. So I hope also the arts are being attended to.
226-841 or 226-292 for your participation on the program. And of course, you can forward your contributions to 0975-473704. And let's look at the effect of the standards of arts in the country going down. What are the eventual effects of this?
Well, I think they are quite evident. Like we said, art is life. the artists are very important people in our society because they add value to our lives. They make our lives beautiful. They make us laugh. They make us cry. They entertain us. So I think for us to just leave them on their own would be quite unfortunate, because what we need to do now is to help them to better their skills so that they can be producing quality productions that can, compete even at international standards. Presently, I'm not aware, or maybe it's just my ignorance or not, but we also need to come to a situation where...
Kindly hold on, Henry. Good morning. Your name, sir? Yes, Steve, go ahead with your contribution.
Just to add on what my brother mentioned earlier on, the problem we have in Zambia is starting from the, what can I say, broadcasting these arts. You find that our ZNBC, our own ZNBC, which is supposed to promote culture and art, they are the one who are discriminating these arts. They are busy showing other countries movies and stuff, and yet to our own, youth, they will grow up in that situation, busy buying these DVDs out the corridors, leaving out our own, DVDs and this stuff. So if our own ZNBC can start promoting, showing those, even if they are not at that stage, but they'll improve as time goes on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Steve. He actually brought in the aspect of promotion of these arts. He says our very own ZNBC showing other movies and not promoting our local production. I don't know what the comment is on that.
Well, I work for a TV station which is locally run TV station, and our policy there is 80% local. And I think if you've watched movie TV, you've seen for yourself that we like to show local productions there. I wouldn't say much about the other side, but I think they are also trying to encourage the production of more local productions with the introduction of their other channel, which is more Zambian. But I think with ourselves, that is our policy. It's our way, our contribution to the development of the arts.
Good morning. Your name, sir? Yes, Albert, go ahead with your contribution.
For your program, I think what we don't have in Zambia is businessmen. You see, even these videos that we watch from Nigeria, somebody has put money on it. We need sponsors. We need managers. People can take interest and move this art to a level of business, make profit. You see, you don't expect government to be financing activities. I mean, the government is constrained right now. So let's look at people who can sponsor some of this. Directors. People can take art as a business, engage these artists, make them realize that let's make money. So that they can, if they realize, they can also become very good. So we don't have businessmen. We don't have people who know that art is a business. Even these movies we see, or film you see, anywhere, people will put money on that. So let's begin to directors. People can be sponsoring some of these youth groups, artists. Otherwise, we'll go around and if people don't realize that it's big business, we end up being always watching this from other countries. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't know if you
A very cardinal point, actually. This is one thing that we as young people also need to realize as young artists, that art is business. It's big business. Examples are there. Hollywood, it's big business, big industry. Nollywood is big business, big industry. Bollywood, big industry. So I think it's big business, and I think our cooperating partners, they also need to realize that this is a money-making industry, and if you invest in it, there are very minimal chances that you go wrong. I think you get your money back.
Indeed.
Yeah.
226-841 or 226-292. Before I cut you short earlier on, you're actually explaining on some of the effects that we tend to see with the reduction of or the going down, the standards of art really going down in Zambia.
Yes, I think some time back you remember that at one point we used to just listen to Western music, but today with the pumping in of funds and the development of our music industry, most radio stations now, if they play a Western song, then it's just by the way, it's 90% Zambian music.
Yes.
Okay, so I think if we have to sustain that, we really need to keep on, investing in this industry. Otherwise, we'll go back to the old days of just Western things and things like that. And if you want to disseminate information about important information about maybe HIV, AIDS, or voting, going to register as a voter, who are you going to use if you're not supporting the artist? The artist is the best person that can disseminate such information, and I think we're even seeing it right now with the election adverts. They're dominated by celebrities, so to say, the actors and all such people.
All right. 226-841 or 226-292. We go for a last break from our sponsors. When we get back, we continue taking up your calls on 226-841 or 226-292. We're looking at youth participation in the creative industry. My guest is Henry Joe Sakala. This is Arts in Perspective. So far, we are on the right path.
In a war that was to last close to 72 hours. Navy Arts Promotion and Production has captured diverse testimonies from survivors and ordinary people who have not shared their deep sentiments of the day of trafficking. And this intriguing documentary entitled Kabbalah Magic, in defense of the nation.
I remember the war started on March 6, 1978. Each one for himself.
I personally lost two of my children. However, the real count of those who died will always remain a mystery. What is true, nevertheless, is that the area experienced an unprecedented
2008 Best Documentary Ngoma Award winner. Call 0975 473 704 or 0211 840 227 or email coordinator@navyarts.co.za or look out at the bookboard store near you.
226-841 or 226-292 or 0975-473704. If you want to make your contribution on the program. Today we're looking at youth participation in the creative industry. My guest once again is Henry Joe Sakala. I'm looking at time. We don't have much time, but very quickly, Henry, I want to find out if there's any role that as youths, especially yourself who's actually a practicing artist, is there anything that they can do together with necessary stakeholders to improve the standards of arts in Zambia?
Well, there's a lot that needs to be done by the youths ourselves. Firstly, we like one of the callers said, art is business.
Okay, let's take up our last call in the program, Henry. Good morning. Very fine, sir. How are you? Okay, your name and where you're calling us from? Okay, Bruce Henry. Go ahead with your contribution.
Listening to the program in my office, I just thought I would make my own contribution. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
What I was looking at is that we have a problem in our country where the Zambian people think that West is the best. Anything that is Western is the best. If you look at TV right now, we've got the channel called African Magic Channel. The Nigerian films have actually dominated the screen. One wonders what is happening to the Zambian film industry. The Zambian film industry is not performing very well because most of the stuff that is being produced right now is not original. If you look at the Kabanana, it's quite disappointing. If you look at the way the script was done. I mean, you're talking of somebody saying, look, tomorrow I'll be flying out to Brazil to go and see my clothing line and that kind of thing. I mean, it's not one of those things that really irritate you, because you start wondering, why can't they make out a Zambian kind of thing that one would be impressed with. Right now,
if I was to be given a choice to watch between Banja and Kabanana, I would go for Banja because it gives the kind of scenario, the Zambian scenario that one understands. You understand what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir, we do.
So what I'm talking about is that the country needs to be, the country and the people of Zambia, we need to be proud of who we are. The country and the people of Zambia need to be proud of what we have. You know, you can't be doing whatever your friends do is what you think is right. I'll give you an example of Mabutu. Today, the Congolese music is being appreciated across the world because of one person. Mabutu stopped Western music in his country and told the people of Congo to only listen to their music. He even went further and told them to appreciate their names and not use Western names, but use Congolese names. That is how today Congolese music has been appreciated. But when you come back home, I heard one caller saying, if you listen now, most of the Zambian music, most of the music that is being played on airwaves is Zambian. It is Zambian, but personally I am not impressed because the young boys and girls that are singing this music are actually using vulgar language. I was driving from Frila on the weekend and, you know, I was listening to one channel called Flavor FM. Jesus Christ, you should have listened to the music that was being played. I mean, where would it sell? I mean, you even ask yourself what the person in the first place was thinking when he was producing that kind of music. So you see, we have to have some original stuff, things that will be able to sell both in the country and outside, things that will be attractive. But right now, the only thing that is attractive is the Nigerian movies. So you find that the Zambians are going for that same stuff because it looks more interesting. But we would rather have our own stuff, but it's nowhere to be found. That's my contribution.
Thank you very much, sir. Henry, a lot of issues there, but one outstanding issue is originality in what we do. I don't know what your comment is on that.
Well, I think one of the reasons why we are so westernized is because we have been exposed to so much Western things. And, you know, we've almost lost our own identity because we've just been exposed to so much Western things. I remember at one time when I was beginning as a writer, I would also write something really out of this world with Western names for characters until somebody sat me down and, you know, had a chat with me to say, you are a Zambian, write about Zambia. Okay? And I think that's why it is important for us to introduce schools where we can, you know, get these creative people and try to educate each other on the importance of this creativity that we have. I think one of the best PR machine for the USA is Hollywood. Hollywood movies, they just praise themselves. 80% of the movies I've watched, there's an American flag, I'm an American hero, and all such things. So they promote their own way of life. We also need to do that in our own environment, our own culture.
Do you think the Western mindset that a lot of people have, including some practicing artists, towards their works, do you think this has really affected negatively the way we look at our local productions?
Yes, it has, because like the caller said, you know, then you start seeing things that are not original, that are not Zambian in the productions, because we've just entertained so much of the Western things. We see that as the normal thing, but I think we have our own rich culture here. We have rich stories. You can make an action-packed movie that is Zambian.
Indeed. You also, I know it's not your specialty, but he talked about unpalatable language in the music. I don't know what your comment is.
Well, it's very right about that. Some of the music I wouldn't even want my daughter to listen to. I don't know. It's a copycat of this hip-hop, the rap music of the Tupacs and the Notorious B.I.G. So it's a copycat of such things. You know, we're trying to Zambianize such things. But you know, you can do some Zambian rap.
It's now time for Arts in Perspective Trivia. You stand a chance to win a DVD from Years Arts. That's a DVD copy of Battle of Kabalamanja if you get the correct answer. The question is, who is the writer of the Zambian intriguing and exciting soap opera called Brothers? Who is the author of the Zambian intriguing and exciting soap opera called Brothers? Is it A, Eddie Tembo, B, Henry Joe Sakala, or C. Professor Dixon Mwansa? To answer this question, type the word YAP, that's YABB, followed by the letter of your choice. Then you send to 0975 473704. That's YAP, YABB, the letter of your choice. Then you send to 0975 473704. As we wind up, Henry, there was a question that you actually didn't finish responding to. The role that youths within the stakeholders, government, the private sector can play in the development of the creative industry in Zambia.
The value of art is sometimes I even fail to put the value at the creative arts. It's so valuable thing that we need to really take it seriously. As the youths in the present situation, I think we can complain here and there, but I think we should realize that it is up to us now. It is our generation. It is our role and our duty for us to build the creative industry of this country, whether we have funds or whether we don't have funds. It is our duty. So I think we need to take up this challenge very seriously and, you know, see what we can do as our youths ourselves. We should build this industry for the next generation. We may not be the ones to benefit the huge profits from the industry, but I think it is our duty to lay the foundation for the coming generation. And I think for the other cooperating partners like the government and the business houses, what we can ask for is for some assistance, because we do need the funds. So I think they should take us seriously. We are in this business and we are serious about it, and I think we need assistance in infrastructure, in education, and also funds.
Okay, there's a text message, I think just echoing what you said earlier on. Morning, I have a heart for art, but the poor facilities in our country really put me down. I'm an actress of CAS in Chingola. Please help me with Yes Arts number. I hope you've got a pen and paper right now. The number you can get in touch with Yes Arts is 0211. That is 0211 840 227. 840 227. All right, I would like to thank my guest, Henry Joe Sakala, for making it on the show. We've been looking at youth participation in the creative industry. But do remember to visit our Facebook page, that is Yes Arts Promotions and Production, and also you can visit our website, that's www.yesarts.org, where you can download today's program and other programs of this series. My name is Raphael Zimba. Enjoy the rest of the morning. This is Radio Phoenix.
Another throwback track. Phoenix.
Jesus Christ, I don't believe my computer just crashed on the other side.
A lot of music without a lot of talk.
Bongo.